Yo, what is up, my peeps? Jermaine Mancop here. We are back with another awesome stream for you. Today we're going to be doing a little bit more of stories, the Path of Destinies. This is a unique game. I quite love it. It's hard to describe, but let's get started and I shall describe it as we go. So let's bring up the stream. Let's bring up the chat. And let's bring up the game. Now, last time in this game we were Reynardo, play as Reynardo, the hero of the stories. And basically, our mother on her deathbed told us, I don't want you winding up on the gallows because you're a pirate and I know you're a pirate. So he promised her that he would be good, and he retired. And he met a young rabbit lady with a kid, and he got to know her, and she made him promise to protect the kid. The kid then stole a magical book and got killed. The magical book started to show Reynardo different possible futures and how he could best explore them to win, even though every time he tries, he keeps losing. It's the basic premise. I told that horribly. Don't hold it against the game. So, let's continue, shall we? Last time we found out, every time you finish a story, you find out a truth.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Reynardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong.
That was one of the truths we found out.
He was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Emperor had brought the Sky Ripper pieces up out of ancient burial by his obscene rituals. Could this be where the Iblis Stone was hidden?
That's
Someone
what we
better
haven't
get
tried
it before
yet.
he does, thought Reynardo. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. But would Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
That was the first truth we found out, was that Lupino was a traitor, because I tried to save him. Then we built the Sky Ripper, and we used it, and it tore a hole in the universe and destroyed everything. So this time we're going to start off by trying to find the Iblis Stone. Now, the Iblis Stone was considered to be one of the most powerful items that ever existed back in the dark times of the old gods.
The island was windswept desert. No one went there except ostriches and ostrich hunters. The Iblis Stone. It sounded ominous. It sounded powerful. If the Emperor was searching for it, it must be dangerous. And so, Reynardo went ostrich hunting. Every child could sing verses about the Sky Ripper, but ancient codices held hints of other things. A stone that ate souls, a ruby that drank blood, a jewel only a righteous man could give away. Were all these things the Iblis Stone? Long hidden in a buried temple? Another ancient item that was only resurfacing now? Drawn up from the deeps by the Emperor's horrific rituals?
So I've got a strike, I've got a dash.
Reynardo had a lot of crafting materials. Now all he needed was a crafting bench.
And I got a hook shot. And got my hero sword at maximum level. I haven't made a Void Blade yet, but I do have Winterthorn and Firestorm, so I feel like we make the Void Blade.
This sword from the mystical east could make time itself slow for you.
So we need 85 or 8 water. So we need 170 ore and 8 water. And a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, we need a bunch of stuff.
The air here tasted bitter. The steps were too tall for a person. The entire place felt restless, like it had been vexed to nightmare under the dust, waiting for its hour to come around at last.
This looks like a trap.
Those sheaves were really very well made, weren't they?
Ah! Had enough of you and your shield.
Ravens were already here, cawing in frustration. They were still searching for a way in. Good. And he hadn't come too late.
Okay. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Haven't you always wanted to do that?
I really like the idea of more sword magic just because it lets me heal more, and y'all know I need to heal. So let's grab that.
You guys ever wonder why the Imperial Ravens are always hiring?
Oh yes, that went much better. Much better.
What's there?
Read. Find the stone. You've been chosen in this critical mission for your ability to follow orders to the letter without question. Do not believe the naysayers. Your score in the intelligence test is only proof that you are better geared than anyone else to follow orders. Take pride in knowing that I, your Emperor, have handpicked you for this mission. Follow the instructions to the letter. Always travel in pairs. Do not look at the engravings on the wall. Do not lose the hermetic box. When you find the stone, immediately place it in the box and seal the box. You hear a voice in your head, ignore it. Remember the temple is haunted, obviously. And an old evil god... Obviously, this is an old temple dedicated to an old evil god. There were blood sacrifices. Of course it would be haunted. Ignore the voice in your head. Remember, ghosts cannot hurt you, but they will try to confuse you. When you hear a voice, take the drowsy pill. You meet another soldier with the stone and it is not in the hermetic box, immediately spray them with drowsy gas. Find the stone, put it in the box, seal the box. Most important of all, find the stone. Oh yeah, this stone sounds like something.
Well, they really needed to redecorate anyway.
They did. Yeah, this stone sounds like something we should be, handling. This looks like a really good place for a trap. And that's why you need more magic.
There was an inscription. No spitting. He'd once met a pirate captain. He used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again?
Attack speed, you say? Yeah, I could use some attack speed. What's in here?
The mysterious sword from the east made you so fast you could catch a fly with your chopsticks. If that's what you really wanted.
That's where we would have come out had we not taken the other shortcut.
There was
Oh,
a
come now.
radiance at the end of a long, dark tunnel. Mother, he thought? Not everyone knew how to use magical gems. Of course, not everyone had magical gem gauntlets like he did. The Ravens at least could not get past this point. Obviously, the temple builders knew how to deal with tomb raiders.
Did they, though? Because, I mean, I feel like I'm a Tomb Raider at this point.
This was much easier than free climbing.
It was a stone of the purest blackness. It reflected no light, like a void made solid. Nervous, he picked it up. Who said that? It was the stone. Eager, thirsty. Kill the Emperor's daughter. That seemed tempting and terribly wrong. Zenobia was the Emperor's greatest general and a potent witch. But they had been close once, and Reynardo wasn't sure he really wanted to be Emperor. Why not capture the core of Skyripper instead? It was the eye of a lost god torn out by the transcendent Emperor to power his greatest weapon. Not the core, said the stone anxiously.
Just gonna check something real quick. Reason being is sometimes that my chat don't work so good on this channel, so I mean, I kind of want to do this. Because with how evil the Iblis Stone seems, you know, it's like weighty and old gaudy. Having something to balance against that might be good. But at the same time, if I'm going to go pure evil, maybe I should go pure evil. I don't know. It might be worth the sacrifice if we can stop the Emperor in his evil plans to gain the Iblis Stone. By using the Iblis Stone to stop the Emperor. Something wrong and circular about that logic. The Emperor is looking for the Skyripper and the Iblis Stone. If I have both, he can't get them. Maybe I can win that way by depriving him of his weapons? To heck with it. If I'm gonna be evil, let's go pure evil.
Why was he listening to a talking rock? Ah, but the rock had a point. If the stone could truly turn him into a powerful warrior, he could defeat the Emperor with the very weapon the wicked old toad had sought for himself. To be a hero, you had to sacrifice old friends sometimes, especially when they've become enemies. As he placed the impossibly black crystal in his gauntlet, Reynardo had a sudden vision. Charred fields covered in dead ravens below a black sun. Was it the time of the lost gods before the transcendent Emperor? Was it the future? It whispered. Take the power. He could feel the stone's hunger for souls. Its thirst for blood. All right, I get it. This was going to be interesting.
Again, how does the Iblis Stone even know about Zenobia? Been locked underground for how many millions of years?
Reynardo hoped his mother wasn't watching.
He was sort of yanking his own chain, wasn't he?
Oh, no, game. That's just wrong. Huh. If this is the right way, what's back that other way? Nope, no, I've gone too far. I'm going this way now.
The ravens on Zenobia's island were no match for Reynardo. They screamed as the stones sucked out their souls. And with each death, he felt stronger. Take the power, the stone told him.
Oh, I will take the power.
Firewalls only let you through if they think you're hot enough.
This couldn't be good for global warming.
Energy on kill? That could be incredibly useful.
Ooh, wouldn't his gauntlet look swell with that jewel in it?
You know what? We're gonna put energy on kill in. That way I can restore my life a lot quicker.
Reynardo wondered who was leaving chests of sword crafting supplies around. He wanted to thank him.
This game is way too self-aware sometimes.
He couldn't do worse with Zenobia than he'd done with the core, could he? These things could really use a hand.
I'll use that teleport in a second. I just want to kill some of these gogglers. Get some energy back. Assuming that that teleport pad will lead me back here, so let's go use it. Find out where it leads.
This chest contained a Vorpal sword. I'm just kidding. Vorpal swords don't exist.
Shield breaker. Oh. That's gonna be even better than energy on kill.
Zenobia was waiting for Reynardo. She was alone, confident as always. Fire danced at the tips of her claws.
Are you here to surrender? She seemed as cocksure as he felt. But she didn't know he had the stone. And I've missed you too, love. He chuckled.
She spotted the stone and bolted without another word.
Actually, we keep energy on kill. And instead of attack speed, we're going to go shield breaker. Because I don't need attack speed if I can break those bloody shields. Okay. Let's see what's down here.
Or I could go that way, he thought.
Treasure Hunter level 3. Nice. Let's see. One skill point available. I do like the counter. Although I kind of want to start down the path of true sword poo.
Swell. He'd always wanted to do that.
There we go. Less than perfect, but we're getting there. Hey, Zenobia.
Finally, Reynardo caught up to her. He had never seen her scared before. At school, she'd been the determined, brave one. Now her eyes were wide, frightened. He didn't like seeing her this way. Kill her, whispered the stone. You cannot win your rebellion without it. Please. No, said Zenobia. Not that way. Oh, they had been so close once. Could he really feed her soul to his demonic gem? But if he spared her, he would not get the full power of the stone. Oh, how could he be the hero he wanted to be?
Look, if we're gonna go evil, we might as well go all the way evil. Yeah. serve the jailer, feed her soul to the stone.
With a flick of his wrist, he slashed Zenobia's throat. Her eyes widened even more. And then the light went out of them. Reynardo felt amazing. Power was rushing into him like water from a burst dam. Oh, such brilliance, exulted the Iblis stone. Tasty.
Reynardo returned to the Farfarer and set a course for the Nexus. The Empire had a communication outpost there. He could call the Emperor directly.
It was time to seize the outpost and let the Emperor know what he had done. The Nexus was beautiful. He'd never realized how beautiful. Everything glowed. The wind was so sweet. The sun so soft. The stones so warm. The black raven feathers. Black feathers. Suddenly, his eyes are filled with them. He's falling through smoke under a dead sun. A voice calls him home. Is this a vision? Whose? Is this the time of the lost gods? Or the future? No matter. What mattered now was killing his way to the Imperial outpost and challenging the Emperor from there. Go back to school, said Reynardo, in your next life.
You know, ore is pretty heavy to carry. You know what's not? A new sword.
Let's see what's through this door.
This is quite the view, he thought.
Did I just come from here? Yeah, I think I just came from here.
There was blood on this one, so it hadn't saved its owner.
Up ahead was Lapino. What was he doing here? Reynardo! Hey, buddy! Hey there, old buddy! Please don't kill me! Why would I kill you? Asked Reynardo, although he had been thinking about it. Well, you've become... look, I mean, no disrespect at all here. Kind of evil? Maybe you should, I don't know, go to the mountains to have a think? See if maybe you're sure the stone is not all that healthy a thing to keep?
I suppose you wanted, Reynardo said, and poked Lapino in the chest for emphasis.
Oh, had he just killed Lapino? Oh, damn it.
Damn, rabbit was too fragile. Too fragile, I say.
He'd go to the outpost, use their far speaker, tell the Emperor what he'd done, and then he'd go to the secret rebel base. Let them know he was ready to lead them to victory.
Yeah, might as well upgrade this.
Fire? Yes, please.
Reynardo rampaged through the Imperial outpost like a water buffalo rampaging. At the last moment, he remembered not to kill the far speaker toad. After all, he wanted a word with the Emperor. But there was only silence. The Emperor was scared, like little girl. Well, he would gather the rebel army and slaughter the Imperial fleet. Applauded the Iblistone. Tremendous. Then the Emperor would have to answer his far speaker, wouldn't he? Who are you? Asked a distant voice that sounded uncomfortably like Zenobia. What have you become? The mountains. Go to the mountains, urged another that sounded a bit like Lapino.
Reynardo has become an amazing warrior, all thanks to the Iblis Stone. But then there were those distant voices. Maybe he should listen to the voices and go to the mountains. Sit upon the frozen throne, don the helm of domination. Time to fight. Reynardo had become an amazing warrior, thanks to the Iblis Stone. Voices or no voices, he had a job to do. A rebellion to lead, a war to win, yes. Had to go to the rebel base and rally everyone. Well, it's been super fun being ultimate evil, but I really kind of want to find out what happens when I go to the mountains. See if, as far gone as Reynardo is in this storyline, if there's any redeeming him. Let's do it.
What are you doing? Demanded the Iblistone. I need to think, Reynardo told it. You're not good at thinking, said the Iblistone. You're good at living. It's what you do. It's your destiny. But he set sail for the mountains, where he could be alone with his thoughts.
Yeah, Ner'zhul, you be quiet.
Why were there Raven Scouts here in the empty mountains? Was there nowhere he could find peace and quiet? There were other ravens here too. Shadowy ones, transparent, lining the path. Ghosts. They cawed as he passed, but they didn't try to stop him. Spectators. Had he really killed that many ravens?
That feels like the right way to go. What's this
Reynardo
way?
wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles.
That was good. Was it good for you?
Then he saw her. Zenobia. She was a ghost too. She ran off when
Oh
she saw
crap,
him.
this is the right way to
How
go.
could a ghost be afraid? He followed her. He had to.
There's no going back, I suppose. Okay, Jaina, I'll follow you.
Take a leap of faith, said the inscription. This chest made music when you opened it. Too bad it was Muzak.
Hey, Squishy. Yeah, I love this game. What we're doing on Wednesday nights here, I don't know if you saw the most recent video up on Patreon, is we're trying to play different games that maybe are a little less time intensive than some of the other ones we play on this channel. This is Stories, the Path of Destinies. And we started it last week, and we'll probably finish it tonight. Basically, you
Reynardo
play...
followed Zenobia's ghost. Had he gone mad, seeing ghosts? Was she running from him, or leading
Kinda.
him somewhere? He'd come here to be alone, but he'd never been less alone in his life. Every raven he had slain haunted these rocks. Was this who he was? A killer? He was terribly good at killing. He was an adventurer. Or was that just another word for killer? Whisper the stone.
I mean, there's roguelite elements, but the basic thing about it is it's about the story more than anything.
For a moment, Reynardo wished
And-
somebody had been watching.
You play as Reynardo, an adventurer. Yeah, it's on Steam. And you've got this magical book that lets you play through different choices. Because you're trying to stop an evil emperor from taking over the universe. And every time you play through, you fail. But you learn a new truth. And last week we learned a couple of truths, and
Who's your next of kin? Just wondering.
this week we're learning a couple new truths. We haven't learned anything new this week yet. But this story is me, or Reynardo here. He found an evil demonic stone, and he decided to do what was necessary to gain the full power of the stone.
His sword food teacher used to say power gems were cheating. Stupid old fart.
Yeah, it's available on Steam and probably GOG as well. GOG is where I got this one, this copy. But I'm bootstrapping it through Steam because it makes using the controller easier.
This could be the new aerobics craze. Am I right?
But so far, I'm really enjoying it. It's quite a lot of fun.
Oh, they really ought to put a railing on this thing, he thought.
But yeah, there's something like 20-some different endings that you can get.
Reynardo really liked the sound his sword made in the air.
And you have to figure out 4 basic truths before you can get an actual ending, right? Here's an aware. Do you remember that expedition I had sent to the depths beneath the islands? They've returned. Well, 3 ships have returned out of the 8 I sent. Of course, I mourn the losses, but the knowledge the survivors brought back is invaluable. What they experienced is incredible. And what they experienced is incredible. The air gradually grows denser and more turbulent until it becomes suffocating. Bone-crushing thunderstorm. But the islands keep stretching for miles below the surface. They have roofs that radiate downwards, far beyond sight. The islands are alive. This is the proof I was looking for. The thick air of the depths keeps them afloat, and in the depths they find their sustenance. Do they have a conscience? Are they aware of our existence? Or are we merely parasites that they ignore or tolerate? Must prepare another expedition. This time I will go myself. I need to see the wondrous world of the endless deep sky. hope you will visit me before I leave. I would like to hear more of this new friend of yours, Reynardo. With love, Father. Okay, that's a note from the Emperor, the evil Emperor that we're trying to stop. Before he became evil.
Open, says me. Mother never let him wave his sword around at home. He guessed he was still compensating for that.
No! I died. Okay, we already read all this. Hey, Theo. This is, Theo, this is, Stories, The Path of Destinies. We're gonna finish it tonight. Assuming I can get past this fight.
Dreams may come, he thought. And then he found out.
Okay. Deep breath. Concentrate. Wow. Okay. Okay, we already read all this.
Wallabies, he thought. Why did it have to be wallabies?
Okay. Let's try this again. I got this. I got this.
Reynardo.
That was better. That, believe it or not, that was actually better. I have no idea if reading that does anything. Oh, come on!
Hit, he thought.
I'll take it. I do not know why that suddenly became so difficult, but...
What's behind door number 2?
We'll definitely take a shield breaker level 2. And physical resistance level 2.
It wasn't his fault. They looked so breakable.
Maybe that was such a secret area that it...
He tried to focus on the job he had to do. The rebellion. Wasn't there a battle coming soon? Ooh, there'd be ravens to kill. Even an emperor. Such killing. Much wow. Ooh, he'd never been so excited.
Killing much wow. I chose the evil path for this one because it sounded a lot like the Arthas storyline. It's like, I'm gonna get this magical talking demon gem that's gonna help me defeat an evil attacking my people.
Sometimes, at home, he'd wave his sword around for hours.
It was like, sure, I'll try being Arthas. Okay. Yep. I like that. But then the ghost of my dead girlfriend told me to go to the mountains and think about what I did, so I decided to.
At the end of the mountain path, Zenobia awaited him. "Why did you kill me?" she said. "I was your prisoner, and I loved you." "I needed the power," he said. "Haven't you heard? There's a war on."
Then what's your excuse for killing me?
Asked his old friend Lapino, stepping out of the shadows.
Because a filthy traitor?
Said Reynardo. For once, Lapino didn't reply.
The demon... The demon has twisted you, said Zenobia. Abandon the stone. You've lost too much already. Her words bit deeper than any sword ever had. So he shook his head, and once again swung his blade through her and Lupino. It had to all mean something. If he gave up the stone now, he would have sacrificed Zenobia and Lupino for nothing. So, Reynardo set course for the Imperial fleet, where he would end it all. The Emperor, the war,
Nice.
the
Nice.
madness.
Enjoy the time off, buddy. I know you've earned it. Yes, Witcher on Friday, I believe.
Reynardo boarded an Imperial ship. No one could stop him slashing his way towards the Emperor. Yes, that was right. To give up now would be to lose everything for nothing. But if he could liberate the land from the Mad Emperor, then he could give up the stone in peace. And those were absolutely his own thoughts, not the stone manipulating him, right? Oh, yes.
Yes.
Exalted the stone.
Arthas had a significant other. Her name was Jaina Proudmoore.
We'll make history today. He could hear a tiny voice within him. Don't kill the Emperor. The stone will eat your soul.
Nice.
Madness? I have to kill the Emperor, he told himself. That's what it meant to be a hero. To do what had to be done, no matter how terrible the cost. Yes. And then you can have peace. Promised the stone. You never knew where the road would take you, thought Reynardo.
Yeah. I mean, to get the full effect of how him and Jaina were on and off again, you kind of have to read Rise of the Lich King. Oh, Shieldbreaker level 3. Wait. Is there nothing out this way? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Reynardo wondered idly if people who had built these poles had really, really long tentacles. The tiny voice, whatever it was silent. He couldn't see ghosts around him, but he could
Absolutely.
feel. If he gave up now, they would be angry. They would have all died for nothing. Who could give up this kind of power? Could anyone? He was just a fox with a talent for swordplay. How had this burden come to him? The Emperor offered the sword. Yes.
I never said I was good at the game, I just said I was good enough. Yeah. Biggest part where I had trouble
Imagine getting a horse up in one of these things. He would be cursing a blue streak.
sympathizing with Arthas and at the same time sympathize with him the most was when he broke things off with Jaina. Like, dude, you had everything. Your life was perfect. And you chose
Soon
to
he'd
give it all
confront
up.
the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. And now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there?
Oops. Yep. You hit it 100 there, Squishy. Absolutely.
The Emperor was cowering in front of his ship.
No, please don't kill me.
Croaked Emperor Isengrim III.
Here, take the crown. I don't want it anymore.
You must kill him, or you will have his troops. He will send assassins.
Please, have mercy. The rebellion is won. Or you could be emperor. I'll just go be a scientist or minstrel. So gummy bears. Yeah, I promise not to bother you.
It's your moment. With all the love he'd ever had for Zenobia, for Lapino, for the kit foxes he would never have, Reynardo raised his sword. And Reynardo plunged his sword into his own chest. Wait. What? Reynardo screamed as his life force ebbed into the stone and surged back into him, and ebbed out and surged back in. Screamed the stone. It began to heat up. What have you done? The stone began to glow. It became white hot. It became lava. Nice knowing you, said Reynardo, as the lava ran like butter. And he died. And just like that, he was alive again. And back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future, when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he'd learned another true thing. The Iblis Stone was evil. It would try to corrupt anyone who used it.
So as you can see, there are 4 basic truths that we need to learn, and there's like 5, 10, 15, 20, 24 possible bad endings, right? And 1 good ending. And once we've unlocked the 4th basic truth, we can try and figure out this ending right here. So the first truth that we learned was that Lapino is a traitor. Because he was our good friend, and we tried to save him, and it turned out he was working for the Emperor. Then we learned that the ultimate weapon, the Sky Ripper, is unstable. We tried to use it, ripped a hole in the universe, and everything got sucked into it, and destroyed the entire universe. Then The Iblis Stone corrupts anyone who uses it, is the truth we just learned from going to try and recover the Iblis Stone. So now we gotta figure out, and I'm not sure how, because we were only given 3 options to start, but we gotta find this truth. And given the portrait this truth has, I think this truth will probably be about Zenobia.
But he was starting to feel like he was getting the hang of this. There was a way through to victory. He could feel it. He just had to keep running the Path of Destinies. With that, the book fluttered back to the beginning, and he fell into it. The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer.
Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Reynardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong, but he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple had risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it, to take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lapino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lapino had betrayed the rebellion. But could Reynardo really leave an old friend to the Ravens?
Okay. So, the story that had the most to do with Zenobia was this one. So what I'm thinking is, we go here, and last time we captured Zenobia and we decided not to take her to the interrogators. But maybe what we do to learn the truth about Zenobia is we take her to the interrogators. So let's give that a shot and see if we can figure out the real truth.
Ah, Lapino. Apparently, the Mad Rabbit had sold a Pegasus that he did not exactly own. Lapino always wiggled out of trouble, given time. But he was out of time.
Lapino's frantic message said that the Ravens were going to kill him for being a rebel spy, and that he had a clever plan.
If the fleet reached him first, they'd string him up for that. Never mind the winged horse.
Or so Lapino had told him over the far speaker anyway.
Lapino had apparently managed to confuse the judge by arguing that he hadn't actually stolen a winged horse. He'd only sold it. But wait, where was the prison? The village was empty. Had everybody fled the Ravens? People were frightened these days. Just 2 weeks past, Reynardo had sneaked through an empty town and listened to the Ravens call about the Emperor's new taste in ritual sacrifice.
I wonder what's down this way. 'Cause I don't think I went this way last time.
There had to be something useful in these things, didn't there?
Ow! Gogglers. 8 gogglers.
Reynardo thought of the Iblis Stone and shivered. He had no business messing with ancient, cruel artifacts. What he needed was his friends around him. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. You blinked.
Okay, that damage wasn't my fault. That was the camera's fault. Never seen the camera do that before, but okay.
Someone has spent a lot of money for a graduation present.
Still not gonna let me kill you, huh, Barrel? Okay. Okay, this is where we started. Let's go down the skinny right-hand path, because we tried the skinny left-hand path, and nothing. Left-handed path. Honestly, but we could have called that last run the left-handed path for how evil it was.
This chest was filled with old concert t-shirts. And something useful.
Okay. I really want to unlock Ultimate Sword Fu. So let's do True Sword Fu.
That would come in handy in a pinch.
Once we get, you know, the last few gems to level 3, we can remove energy on kill, or treasure hunter rather.
It was time for a little exploration. The rock felt hot in his hand. He could feel its secret power.
one thing I will never give up is Shield Breaker. It's too much of a game changer. Yeah, let's jump down here. Energy on kill is kind of nice, too. Especially with the way I play, where I really only use the hero sword. The other two swords are incredibly, or the other three swords, rather, are incredibly useful, too, depending on your playstyle. Like the, ice sword freezes enemies, the fire sword catches them on fire, and I think the vorpal sword, like, freezes time or something.
Ravens were landing everywhere. The advance guard. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lupino first, they'd eat him for breakfast. Or a snack. Ravens weren't picky. If they got hungry, they sometimes forgot to interrogate their prisoners. Even top spies like Lupino. Well, unless he really was a traitor, obviously. Then they'd probably pin a medal on his chest.
Here's Zenobia. How are you enjoying the academy? New friends must already be flocking around you. No doubt. Here in the palace things are the same. I have much time to dedicate to my special hobby. I've been collaborating with Professor Calaveras and his team of experts to investigate the nature of the islands. My gut is telling me that the islands are alive. I think they have a will of their own. Do you hear me, daughter? Our world could be more than floating masses of rock and water. Professor Calaveras and his boys have made measurements. The islands are drifting. Surrounded by the endless sky, it is difficult to notice, but through careful measurements of the wind over long periods of time, they are certain the islands are moving westward. But where to? It may take centuries, millennia to reach the destination. I have a strange idea. What if the islands are some sort of herd, and that they are deliberately searching for another herd of islands? Do you imagine? New islands with their own inhabitants. The thought that we may not be alone. If only I could live long enough to witness the event. With love, Father.
The right jewel could really give you an edge. The wrong, well, it still looked pretty, didn't it?
Oh, hey, Lupino.
Dirty and bloody, Reynardo finally reached Lupino. The rabbit was practicing his shuffle. Reynardo recognized the cards. It was Lupino's favorite deck. Oh, I thought you were in danger. I am.
Alice in Wonderland, the
Ravens
Vorpal
are
Blade,
coming.
yeah.
Oh, the prison
Vorpal
thing.
Blade.
Right, yeah, see, this guard owed me 53 ducats, so we made a deal. They're very reasonable people, actually, for weasels. Now, I got a brilliant plan to kidnap Zenobia.
We capture Zenobia, we find out what she knows, and that's the whole war right there. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Capture the Emperor's greatest general, who also happened to be a deadly sorcerer and, oh, his only daughter? That would be worth it. On the other hand, he could still get to the core of the Sky Ripper, even if he couldn't get the whole thing. It must have great power.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my original thought. Pay a call in Zenobia, and instead of not taking her to the interrogators, take her to the interrogators.
Zenobia wasn't just the
And find out
Emperor's
the real
daughter,
truth
of
about her.
course. She'd been Reynardo's best friend in sword fu school. And you're still mad for her, the rabbit reminded him. They'd been close. She'd told him things no one else knew. But she'd never told him who she really was.
She knows all the Emperor's plans, chuckled the master spy.
She won't give them up easily,
She'll tell the interrogators, all right,
said Lapino. Taking her would change the game, all right.
The city was already under Zenobia's control. I had to admire her efficiency. Reynardo shivered at the thought of Zenobia at the mercy of the interrogators. Would he really turn her over to them?
Yep.
But this was war. It wasn't meant to be pretty.
Gotta get my loot on. Last time we were on this map, I went that way. I was convinced that this was the correct way. So we'll try this way this time.
This was the nice part of town, but the ravens had been through here. They like to take shiny things home to their nests.
You couldn't go sticking jewels in your gauntlet just anywhere. What if you dropped one and broke it? Luckily, there was a bench
1, 2,
right here.
3, 4. 4 more gems, and we've got everything. But yeah, this is the Hero Sword, the Void Blade. Not Vorpal Blade, Void Blade. My apologies. Winterthorn. Sounds a lot like Frostmourne to me.
Had that door been open before?
Energy on kill.
If they didn't want their things broken, they really ought to make them stronger.
Howdy, Stromy. How's it going, bud? I feel you, brother. Been a long day for me, too.
Urging him to capture Zenobia. Obviously, it was a trap. But you never knew how Lupino thought. Sometimes his plans were so convoluted they did the exact opposite to what Lupino wanted. Yeah, there must be some way to play on that, Reynardo thought.
Yeah, not bad, actually. They,
Ooh, sparkly, thought Reynardo.
The one that didn't pop is pretty much scabbed over, and the one that did, still a little sensitive, but getting there. So I think that before this was not open, so this is a shortcut, so let's take it. Oh. Go away, Goggler.
Sleep tight, thought Reynardo.
Yeah, Metro's is just taking a few days off for some IRL stuff.
So, what's this plan of yours? Use me as bait, said Lupino. And he outlined a slightly complicated plan that involved geese, a net, setting the Farfarer a little bit on fire, Lupino dressing as an old blind toad, and Reynardo hiding inside a monstrous watermelon. What could possibly go wrong? Thought Reynardo.
Yep. Yeah, like if you watch the WoW channel, I'm still doing that. Most of what I'm doing right now is Season of Mastery and TBC Classic. Go for Lupino's geese, net, fire, toad, watermelon plant. Absolutely.
Oh, this is gonna be fun, said Lupino as he ran to go set up his marvelous plan.
Doing a lot of classic class quest videos and old school leveling and that kind of thing. So we only need 2 more gems and then we can take the treasure finder gem out and put in something a little bit more useful.
Armor. Oh dear, that wasn't good.
Dear Zenobia, as you read this letter, you are locked in your chambers, ready to spend your last night before... well, you know. I will not apologize, I know you are too proud to forgive me. I also know you won't resist reading through You Are a Cat, much as I tried to educate you like a proper toad. I swear to you, you have to believe me. I did not plan all this when I adopted you. You have always been my special little kitten. That's why I'm writing this now, weeks in advance. I know I will not have the heart to do it the night of the sacrifice. If I think of you as my daughter, then I may change my mind. You must think I am selfish, and yes, I am a selfish, sad little toad that is afraid to die. But what I am doing will ultimately serve the greater good. I want the power, I want it all, so I will keep my subjects content. Peace for eternity. Even if you hate me now, you can still respect that. You have to. It is the only way I can forgive myself for doing this to you. I will miss you for eternity. Tomorrow. Try not to make a scene. Everyone will be watching. Still with love, Father. Yeah, so he's been planning to kill her for a long time. Oh, come on!
Dying, you thought? I'm the hero.
Let's try this again with fewer stupid moves. Thanks, Stromy. I hope you have a good rest and a good day at work.
Reynardo felt dubious about the whole plan. With every step, he was waiting for it all to go horribly wrong. But against all odds, Peppino's idiotic plan worked. Zenobia's ravens ran off after the geese, the net dropped, and Reynardo jumped out of the watermelon and put his sword to Zenobia's throat.
Reynardo, she said. Are those new scars? They look good on you. You never return my velvet jacket. It was my favorite. You look stupid in velvet. Oh, what does an imperial princess know about style? Oh, get a room, you two, said Latino.
But the fleet was coming on fast, so they put Zenobia on the Farfarer and took her east over the Nexus.
She'd vanished from Swordfu School, from his life, without even saying goodbye. Without ever telling him she was the Emperor's adopted daughter. Ah, Lapina was right, Reynardo thought reluctantly. She knows things. She recognized his look. You're taking me to the interrogators, aren't you? She said, wide-eyed. And then she jumped, with horror. Reynardo saw Zenobia plummeting. Then he saw the Nexus below them. Cats always land on their feet.
Ah, she'll head for the Imperial outpost, yelled Lapino. You have to catch her.
Cats can run faster, but foxes can run longer. If he ran, he could head her off before she reached her minions at the outpost. Well, he did love a good chase. Smashing things was fun.
Imagine if you built a house on one of these things. Oh, that would be amazing. It would be like having a boat.
You like having a boat.
Maybe I should follow my nose, thought Reynardo.
It always knows.
Hey, I thought his friend was a swan. Could he join up and dye his feathers?
That's where we came from.
Reynardo remembered when he'd first stolen one of these. Good times.
That should be the last gem we need. So next time we see a workbench, we can pop out Treasure Hunter and put in...
He was closing on her. He could smell her fear. He tried not to think about the interrogators at the secret base. What did they do to her? Maybe it didn't have to end that way. Maybe he could talk to her. But, after all, there were worse things the Imperials had done to friends of his. People had laughed at the government workbench placement program, but you could see the benefits everywhere.
I'm wondering if I should do elemental resistance. Spell damage by 40%. That could be huge. But attack speed, I think, is where we need to go. I kind of am a spam the attack kind of person.
Reynardo reached the outpost. The Imperials there were no match for him. Soon after, Zenobia limped up the path. When she realized he was already in front of her, she didn't even try to run. Oh, you left without saying goodbye. Again, he said, "Please, I'm enjoying this a little too much," she said, shaken. "Oh, spare us the chit-chat, would you?" said Lapino as he shackled her hands so she couldn't throw spells. She knows all his plans. All the way back to the Farfarer, Lapino nagged Reynardo about how the interrogators would pry all the intel out of Zenobia. How that would turn the tides in the imminent battle. All they had to do was take her to the rebels' secret base. Reynardo didn't like to think about what the interrogators would do to her. Couldn't he just talk to her?
Okay, so last time, which of course was the first one of these stories, we said it was too cruel, we didn't want to see our lady love subjected to this, so we went this way. This time, let's take her to the rebel base and win the war.
As they reached the ruins, Reynardo could see ravens everywhere, searching for the rebel base. They'd have to hide the Farfarer or go on foot. What if we get separated? Asked Lapino. For once, thinking ahead. I'll show you a map to the base. Reynardo told Lapino.
Reynardo, don't do this,
Said Zenobia.
we were friends once. We...
Shut it, witch, or I'll shackle your mouth too, said Lapino. See? Reynardo thought. There was no way Lapino was working for the Empire. He really hated Zenobia. And then, a few moments later, they touched down. As Lapino pulled Zenobia off the Farfarer, Reynardo readied himself for the battle ahead. I'm sorry I nicked your jacket, she said. It's just... Oh God. It's stupid, but... It smelled like you.
What?
He said, confused.
Then... Why didn't you ride? Why didn't you far speak?
Oh, save the romantic nostalgia. Let's go!
Afternoon,
Shrieked
Toxic.
Lapino.
How's it going?
So Reynardo launched himself down the path to the secret base. No skateboarding, the sign said.
Or... I'm willing to bet that that's the correct way.
Don't look down, he thought.
What's this way? What's the wrong way?
Kill the rebel! Caught one raven. Eat the rebel! Caught another. It was time to make a new sword.
I disagree, narrator. I think it's time to upgrade an old sword.
caught their breath. It's beautiful, she said, looking at the
Well,
ruins.
thanks, bud. Appreciate
Used
it.
to be the library of Ubar, he said. Before your father's ravens smashed it. Do we have to talk politics? She asked. That's not how I want to remember you, she said with an odd, wistful look at her face. She was as beautiful as she'd ever been, and as brave. Peppino huffed. They got back on the trail. Reynardo hated gogglers, but it freaked him out to cut them.
Yeah, I really don't blame Reynardo for hating gogglers. They're nasty. They're nasty and incredibly painful.
What was the point of this gate? Did they think no one would notice the lever?
Although I do love it when it rains in a
Long
video game.
stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Danced around the room yelling, oh yeah, that's how we do it.
It was something he liked to do, but only after he'd killed all the witnesses.
I mean, we didn't actually kill all the witnesses because, like, Zenobia and Lupino are right behind us.
As they made their way to the secret rebel base, Reynardo felt strange. Zenobia was his prisoner, yet somehow she felt more like an old friend. He wanted to tell her all his secrets, but suddenly the ruins lit up with thousands of fireworks. There was a thunderous roar and dust rose. The caves were collapsing.
The caves.
You've been playing me? Reynardo said, and he stared at Zenobia.
I'm sorry, she said, and she seemed almost embarrassed. Then everything went dark.
When Reynardo came to, he had a terrible headache. Also, Zenobia's sword was at his throat. And her shackles were gone. So was Lupino. The terrible thing is, he said, I really have missed you. Now that we've destroyed the rebellion, would you consider becoming an advisor to the Emperor's daughter?
I'm no one's servant. Everybody serves. Even if it's only destiny. I like to choose my own destinies, he said.
The whole point of a destiny is you can't choose. Oh, never mind, she said. Look, if I see you again, I'll have to kill you.
He watched her ship soar away. He would see her again, he decided. Even if he had to fight his way across the entire fleet.
The Imperial fleet was cleaning up the few rebel remnants. For only a moment, he thought about running.
But heroes don't run, even when the world is against them. Even when their cause is hopeless, and their efforts futile, and pointless, and useless, and death painful and guaranteed. He's decided to stop thinking for a while.
Once again, I have the objective of killing the Emperor.
It was time for him to learn something new. He felt bad for people who had to study.
Yeah, let's learn Ultimate Sword Fu. Oh yeah, that's sweet. Must find loot.
This thing really needed a roof.
Secret loot. Wait at.
He hadn't noticed that path before.
Fight, protect, succeed! Never forget what you are fighting for. The Empire brings peace, prosperity, and stability to the islands. Before my grandfather brought unity, it was each animal for himself. The strong would eat the weak, but that was the only law. The rebels would destroy our great empire. They spread lies about justice and equality and pretend that power can be shared. But justice and equality can only be achieved through an iron hand. To harshly punish crime until there is no more crime. To control everyone's wealth until there's no more greed. To crush every voice of dissent until there is harmony. These principles are the pillars that I have set for you, for our empire. The alternative is to return to barbarity. You must fight for your empire. You must protect its values. You are the first and last line of defense against darkness. You cannot fail. Fight, protect, succeed. Emperor Isengrim III, War Manifesto. Yeah, he's not lost it at all. I'm certain he hasn't gone full Palpatine. I mean, you never go full Palpatine. That's a quick way of losing your mind going full Palpatine.
Fresh socks, thought Reynardo. Please be fresh socks.
Yeah, when you can start chaining together those one-hit kills, it's really fun.
The traitors!
Call out the ravens. Reynardo's arm was sore, his armor wet with raven blood. He was tired of death. But death was not yet tired of him. The rebels were losing. Badly. In some other universe, Reynardo thought, he and Zenobia had left sword fu school together, taken other names and sailed off into the mists. But not this Zenobia, and not him. For him, there was nothing to do but forge ahead. Kill the Emperor, and end for this. Don't look down, he told himself. Don't look down. Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Again. This time, he'd make an end of him. He'd screwed up last time, but he had a good feeling about this time.
Nothing to it but to do it.
At last, he reached the Emperor's ship. Zenobia was there. Why'd you have to come back? She said, guess I'm just serving my destiny. He shrugged. You don't even know what that word means. She said, do you ever wonder if things have been different all the time? She said, and drew her sword. In the end, Reynardo lay bleeding out on the deck. Zenobia sat by his side, upset. What are you so upset about? He asked. You wouldn't understand. Why didn't you tell me you were going to leave school? I was afraid you'd convince me not to. I guess I'll have to buy you a drink in the halls of the Valiant then, he told her. And then he was gone. Oh, damn it. He lost again, and died. But there was burning Ubar behind him. He still had all his destinies ahead of him. But he'd learned another true thing. Zenobia still had feelings for him.
Alright, so now we know Lupino's a traitor. Zenobia has feelings for Reynardo. The Iblis Stone will corrupt anyone who uses it. And the Sky Ripper core is unstable. Has to be a way to use all those to win the game. So that's what we're going to try to do next.
He knew enough now, he thought. All these truths tumbling around each other in his head. There must be a way to puzzle the pieces together. If he used everything he knew, he could discover a new path to destiny. The book's pages fluttered to the beginning once again. Faster than before? And he fell.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose. The rebellion was in trouble. Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer.
Pieces of the Sky Ripper had surfaced. Reynardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong. But he was sure he could figure out how to use it safely. Also, a temple
Size,
had
hello.
risen out of empty desert. The Iblis Stone was hidden there. It was a dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, his old friend Lupino needed rescuing. Of course, Reynardo had a pretty strong suspicion that Lupino had betrayed the rebellion. And he had a gut feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage.
I bet that key means that this is the way I have to go to progress the story in a new direction.
Reynardo finally realized that Lupino was a traitor to the cause.
Yes.
Maybe Reynardo could use that somehow.
What to do with the knowledge about Lupino's treason? Reynardo would be foolish to trust Lupino again. He should confront him. Or better yet, find a way to use the traitor against his new master, the Emperor. Maybe Lupino could be a game changer, after all.
Reynardo couldn't quite put his paw on when he'd realized Lupino was working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lupino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames. If Reynardo could prevent Lupino from getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip. How had they come to this? They'd been on so many adventures together. Lupino had talked Reynardo out of prison at least 4 times, and Reynardo had rescued Lupino from at least 2 lynch mobs.
So how you doing tonight, Size?
But he'd always felt that the rabbit resented him. Lupino was hilarious because he was so down on himself and everyone else. But behind the laughs, he wasn't a happy camper. Was this payback? Or did the Empire have his little white tail in a vice?
We need to find one of those shrines, so I can meditate and get new abilities. Yeah, this is what we do Wednesday nights now. We play shorter games. You know, normally we play games that are story intensive and are very long, like Witcher, Deus Ex, or what have you. But I wanted to dedicate one night to games that are a little bit shorter, but still have really good stories to them, right? So last week we started Stories, the Path of Destinies, and now we're hopefully going to finish it. Pardon me for just a second. Fact of the matter is, we're very close to finishing it. Okay. True sword. Ultimate sword food? Definitely.
This was way better than being able to shrink down to the size of an ant. What was that all about, anyway?
Stamina's never really been an issue. Speed, running, kind of taken care of by sword magic increase. Countering attack now causes damage. That's good. We never grab. We never really kick and throw. Oh, I do like that, though. Occasionally, I do get hit, so let's grab that. Yeah, this is actually, I think this game is about 5 years old, and I believe there's a sequel to it. It's available on Steam and GOG. Honestly, I've enjoyed it so much, I might just play the sequel next week.
Ravens were landing everywhere from dropships. He'd better get moving. If they got to Lapino first, the rabbit would give the Empire all the intelligence he'd been stealing from the rebellion, and they'd probably give him a medal. He'd have to be very careful about how he played Lapino. At the slightest hint of danger, the mad rabbit would take off like a rabbit.
There was still no sign of Lapino. Not a hair, not a pellet. Was he hiding in the cemetery further down the road? That didn't seem like him. Beautifully. Where was a bard when you needed one?
I don't know. Like I say, I'm honestly,
Lapino would betray him. The core was dangerous. And Reynardo had a fleeting idea that the two ideas went together somehow. And then it was gone again. Ah, damn ideas. They never stuck around when you needed them.
I would never
The new
in
pathway made Reynardo curious.
my life play a pirated game on stream. That's just not me. I think we've been here before and read these. Yeah, we read this one before. This means we've been here before.
Right, who wants to die first?
Yeah, no worries.
Bloody and exhausted, Reynardo finally reached Lapino. The rabbit was practicing shuffling his favorite deck. Now that he knew what the rabbit was, there were a few things about him that Reynardo didn't find so amusing anymore. You sent me an urgent message saying that you're in danger. Oh, I am. The ravens are coming. Now, I got a clever plan to kidnap Zenobia. Reynardo wanted to clap shackles on the rabbit and shout, "You're a traitor, and I'm not falling for it." But if there was one thing Reynardo was sure of, it was that the core of the Sky Ripper was dangerous mostly to its user. If he could put it in the Emperor's hands, old Isengrim III might blow himself and his fleet up with it. Yes, that was it.
Yeah, let's send the traitor to fetch the core, because he'll take it to his master, the evil emperor.
Reynardo felt like a real hero, brave and smart. He told the rabbit all about the Sky Ripper's God's Eye core.
I'll go get the core while you attack Zenobia.
He told the rabbit. "But wait, I've an even better idea. I'll get the core and you attack Zenobia," said the rabbit. "Right, yeah, that is better," agreed Reynardo. Perfect. The traitor would make sure the Emperor got the core. Now Reynardo just needed the Emperor to use the core. If he could only get something that the Emperor wanted very badly. Zenobia. He could save her and bait the Emperor at the same time. Right. Now, all Reynardo had to do was fight his way through Zenobia's invading troops, sneak onto her ship and into her bedroom, and kidnap her without any of her dozens of guards alerting her. Then, he would rely on her love for him to convince her how evil her father was, so she'd run away with him instead of going back to her father, who was going to blow himself up. It did sound a little risky. But Reynardo had a feeling it would work out somehow. It always did.
I mean, she's only the most talented witch on the planet. You're equal at sword fighting. I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong.
Okay, let's make this quick. I'm on my break in literally 2 minutes.
That's okay, buddy. I don't mind. You just do what you need to do to feel better.
Hero wall. Hero sword. Firewall. Fire. Extinguisher.
I honestly shouldn't even be bothering with these secret paths anymore. I've got all the gems. I'm at full health and energy. It's all they're really good for. But I'm trying to get enough ore so I can craft that last sword upgrade. Be nice to finish the game with all the swords, all the gems, all that kind of stuff.
There was a pleasant breeze coming through that door. Had it been closed before?
Let's try down here. Shortcut.
Reynardo was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and distraught.
They jumped us. I barely got away. Oh, they got the core.
Oh, it was all going according to plan, thought Reynardo. Now he just needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone. Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her. That's it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super genius.
Nope, we're gonna send Lapino for the Iblis Stone. I like it.
This is terrible, Reynardo told the rabbit. If only I had gone for the Iblis Stone. But now it's lost in enemy territory. He handed Lapino a map. It gives the bearer so much power. We can only hope the Emperor never finds it. What was that? Said Lapino. I think someone's following us. I didn't hear anything. Rabbit ears. You go on ahead. I'll check it out. And with that, Lapino hopped off with the map.
Yeah, I'm not gonna bother down there. Any of the secret paths, I don't need it. Go. All healed up.
Reynardo slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. She was curled up on her bed. He'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek. How soft. He tapped
It's a
her on
little
the
disturbing there,
shoulder with his
Reynardo.
sword.
Calm it down.
She was made of smoke, and he noticed he had a very solid blade to his throat. Did you really think you could capture me? Heard a familiar voice. I just wanted to chat, said Reynardo. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He needs a sacrifice. Someone who truly loves him, to make a bargain with the lost gods. That's a vicious lie. He wants to bring them back. That's crazy. Why would anyone... They could make him immortal. An eater of souls. And with that, her eyes widened. She understood. Reynardo told her how he had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred. How he had slept in a burnt village. At midnight, the Emperor's victims had come to him in his dreams to tell him of the hideous eldritch rituals they'd been sacrificed in. He could still see those kittens and puppies. Their wide, sad eyes, their moist noses. You can't prove that. I've got a witness at the observatory. He couldn't tell her, not yet, why he was really here. He didn't want her to be anywhere near the fleet when her father blew himself and Lapino up. So he told her about how the Emperor's obscene rituals had raised ancient artifacts out of the land. How he'd followed the appalling trail of the hideous horrors His Majesty had perpetrated for the sake of his own immortality. Any of this ring a bell? He said. He told me it was all lies. You've always known when I was lying. I always hated that about you, said Reynardo. The rebellion had started after atrocities that the Empire hushed up. Reynardo had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred for one book. He had slept in a burnt village. Dead kittens and puppies had come to tell him what the Emperor had done to them.
We'll forego going after these. Although, I don't think I've done this one. This secret path, so we're gonna try it.
I wonder what happens if I go that way.
Long, winding stair. At school, we learn the gospel of the transcendent emperor, the last divinity to pierce the skies. He would banish the evil gods and grant us the gift of time. But could one man, divine as he may be, create something as intricate as time? I have my own theory. I believe that time is a symptom, rather than a gift. I'm convinced that on a cosmic scale, there's a pendulum motion between order and chaos. Hey, Lao Tzu, how's it going, buddy? You betcha. The Transcendent Emperor ended chaos and started the age we live in, an age of cause and effect, of fact and logic. Time is merely a tapestry upon which the laws manifest themselves. It's the foundation of order's companion, entropy. But in the age of chaos, when the old gods reign, perception carries more weight than facts, emotions can shape worlds, and time ceases to exist. The age of order is ending. I am merely helping the inevitable entropy has been broken. Fate has been breached. The end of time is coming, and I shall embrace it. Emperor Insgrim the Third, Secret Journal. Yeah, we're playing Stories: The Path of Destinies. This is my not so much an MMO channel. This is my LP channel, and we're just playing. Playing different games on this channel. Might have gotten turned around. This might be where we came from, but also it might be the correct path, so we're gonna try it. Yes, the correct path.
Don't you think I'd know if my father started practicing black magic? Why? Would you join in? No! I'd destroy his books and I'd... Oh, God. Okay, you're not completely wrong. They've resurrected one of his victims. Well, look, I mean, look, it's not exactly alive, but it can talk. A true witness, she said.
But yeah, we play lots of different games on this channel. It's Wednesday night, so we're playing a shorter game tonight. It's more of a game that we can be completed in a couple of sessions. We started last week here on Stories of the Path of Destinies. We're very close to the end right now. At least I hope we are. But the story is still really good.
It was a bit windy up here.
We got lots of Final Fantasy LPs on this channel. Not Final Fantasy 14, but lots of the older Final Fantasies we have played or are playing. I have no time in my life for an MMO that's not World of Warcraft, honestly. We've been doing lots of different... I don't think so. There's just too much to do.
The observatory was a burning hulk. Dead scientists and black feathers everywhere. The Ravens had taken special care to burn the reanimated witness to cinders. Zenobia stared at the carnage. He didn't want me to hear the witness, did he? I guess not. What's your plan? She asked. So, Reynardo explained his brilliant gambit. Sending Lapino to get the Iblastone, become super powerful and corrupted, provoke the Emperor into using the core against him, thus blowing up both of them, and hopefully the fleet too. Let me visit your council, she said, shaken. I want to help. Could he really trust her?
Yes, because we learned one of the secret truths of this game is Zenobia still has feelings for us, I just choose to trust her.
He'd done it. He'd made Zenobia see how evil her father really was. He wished she didn't feel this urge to join in the rebellion. After all, he'd taken care of the Emperor, right? Yeah, but she'd always been conscientious like that. She told him she had to go somewhere first. So Reynardo gave her the location of the secret base, and they agreed to meet in the ruins. He had a very good feeling about this. What had Zenobia gone off to do? What was more important than meeting the rebel council? Had he made a mistake, sending her to the ruins? No. He knew they could trust each other. He could trust her because she never broke her word. And she could trust him because she could see right through him. Well, she'd probably be there well before him. She at least didn't have to fight her way through rainstorms of ravens.
But yeah, I think when it comes to Final Fantasies, I'm more interested in the single-player ones than I am the MMO ones. Yeah.
missed her. Not Zenobia. Hypatia, the kid's mother. Reynardo had never thought he'd date a librarian. He'd always figured himself for the barmaid type. But then, he'd never figured the library of Ubar would have comic books, or that Hypatia would know anything about them. He missed her.
Let's stack down this way.
Reynardo felt ready to take on new powers.
Okay. Yeah, let's buy this, and that will give me more healing.
He was more and more extraordinary.
As he came around the bend, there was Lupino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Reynardo could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis Stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it.
Punish, terrorize, humiliate! The masses have been raising their fists, led by a handful of nobles with too much ambition. Is it envy that the power I seek is something they want for themselves? Are they just criminals who want to steal from us? There is but one punishment for such a crime: death. Make an example of the leaders. Execute anyone who dares following them. Or is it fear that the sacrifices I have been making would extend to them? Is this a war for survival? Show them the true meaning of fear. Strike them fast and strike them hard. Make them suffer. Burn everything they hold dear. Or is it pride that the meaning of those sacrifices would forever escape their comprehension? They want an inclusion, a say in my decisions. This arrogance cannot be allowed. Take those who surrender to the salt mine. Let their lungs fill with corrosive dust. Let them betray one another for scraps of food. Let their children watch as they fall into savagery. End the rebellion without mercy. Punish, terrorize, humiliate. Emperor Isengrim III, War Manifesto. Yeah, he's a little far gone, that Emperor.
Say goodnight, Gracie, said
Good night,
Reynardo,
Gracie.
wondering who Gracie was. The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Ooh, I held that down for way too long just because I got in the middle of a cutscene. Uh-oh, no energy.
Ah, the road less traveled, thought Reynardo. How intriguing.
Only doing this because I need, like, 3 more ore. To make the last sword upgrade before I finish the game. Come on, give me some ore. No ore. Is that a scroll I can read? Nope.
Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
No, I trust her not to kill me.
You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblastone, yearning for his death. But she didn't strike. If you kill him, he'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up! She shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me, he said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him! I hate you too! I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was weeping. He was holding her. The sword had dropped from her hand. He glanced at the Iblastone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No. It glowed, like a cinder. It was crackling, burning, crumbling into ashes. You've always loved me, haven't you? She said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. Always, he said. She staggered as he helped her up. Let me take you away. Where? The island of Avalon. The sisters will heal you. He'll follow us. Then we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire. The Empire had seized his ship. They'd have to take it back.
Go this way. Because I think it actually gives me another shot at...
That was the back door to something. But what?
Gives me another shot at crafting. I'm determined to make that sword. Don't you know it's the end of the world?
And there it was, his beautiful skycraft, the Farfarer. They would fare very far indeed, beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the mystical island of Avalon. He didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning, laughed Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time.
Oh sure, now you give me tons of ore.
Run for the nest, said the lead raven.
Reynardo wondered what would happen if he jumped. Would he be rescued by an emergency platform?
It was doing so well, too. I just have to pay a little bit more attention than that. I get the feeling this is the last fight in the game, too, right? So it would make sense that it's a little bit harder. Come on. Okay, we got this, boys and girls. We got this. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna do nothing. You're gonna do nothing. Because all you are is a buffer. You're a buffer. You get nobody to buff. You're gonna do nothing.
But they did not go unnoticed. Scout ships lifted off, and the long lance of the Imperial flagship. Reynardo turned downwind to gain speed. The Raven ships could pursue, but they couldn't close. The Farspeaker croaked, "Return her and live!" "Go sacrifice yourself," yelled Reynardo. "Then you won't have her either." On the flagship, the Emperor was readying some arcane weapon. It couldn't be. It was the core. A devastating beam lanced out of the flagship. Reynardo zigzagged wildly to keep the Farfare out of it. Now the Raven scout ships were closing the distance, and the beam was getting closer too. Then came a blinding flash, and the air was searingly hot all around him. There was a thunderous, deafening roar. He could smell burnt oak and burnt feathers and burnt flesh. But when he could hear and see again, they were alive and unhurt.
and they were alone in the sky. Zenobia embraced him. They had done it. Through luck and through love, they had won the war. "Avalon, here we come," he said as he held her arms wide in the prow of the boat and let her feel its speed. "Maybe the real Avalon is wherever we're together," she said. And so, after a bit of an argument, Reynardo and Zenobia went to one of the two Avalons. The one shrouded in mists, or the one in their hearts. But which one they went to, I'll never tell. He'd done it. He'd forged his own destiny. Well, he hadn't actually done it, but he knew what he would do. Reynardo smiled at the book. He practically wanted to kiss it. The kid's sacrifice hadn't been in vain. He'd saved the book and saved the world. Reynardo owed him and his mother so much. Reynardo lowered the mainsail and let the Farfarer shoot forward in the breeze. Second star to the right, and straight on
till morning.
This time, he would win.
Oh, that was such a good game. Oh, man. I love it. Awesome music, awesome story, awesome characters, great gameplay. The combat felt sometimes to be a little bit unfair, but you could overcome it. It wasn't unfair to the point where it was impossible. I'm telling you, this is an awesome game. I heartily recommend you guys grab it and try it out for yourselves. Maybe you could try different things and get different endings. Figure your own way onto the Path of Destinies. It was a lot of fun, Squishy. I heartily recommend you grab it for yourself and play it, or even just watch yesterday and today. It's there was a lot to it. It's really, really good. I'm gonna go and do a little research tonight and see if I can find the sequel, because there's supposedly a second game that's in the very similar vein by the same people. So, and if I can find it, that'll be our next Wednesday. So, yeah. Big ups to everybody involved in creating this game. I am going to head out. We'll be back tomorrow morning with some on the Warcraft channel with some Season of Mastery leveling. And yeah, we'll be back for patrons and YouTube members with their exclusive stream tomorrow night here on the LP channel. Alright, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time. Peace. Cop out.